Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Modern Warfare in Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the Model 680 shotgun, which I found to be actually kind of viable, but just a little bit harder to use than the other shotguns. When I first started off with this episode, I thought I was going to have to maybe make it funny or find some sort of way to explain why I didn't like the weapon, but as I played with it and as I learned more about the attachments, I found that it's actually not that bad. It's just difficult to use. So we're going to jump into the stats and you'll see what I'm talking about. The Model 680 rate of fire is about 70 rounds per minute, and do keep in mind this is pump action, same as like bolt action on the sniper rifles. You need to pump it before you can shoot again, and a lot of times you want to shoot somebody and sprint off, and when you're done sprinting you'll have to pump before you can fire again. That can get you in trouble, so do keep it in mind, and that is a very slow rate of fire. All of my testing that I did yielded no bonus damage for headshots, so numerically all I can say is there should not be bonus damage for headshots, yet when I loaded up and played multiplayer, my gameplay was significantly better when I was going for them. Either my testing methods are incorrect, or this is the placebo effect, but I had very good luck in multiplayer going for headshots, and I wanted to put that out as a sort of soft fact, for lack of a better word. Let's talk about the one-shot range on this weapon, because I think that's where it gets really interesting. The base one-shot range is 11 meters, which is not bad at all. Now, to be fair, that's similar to the max one-shot range if you have your R90 or Odin kitted out, but then when you put the Liberator barrel on there, it goes up to 14 meters, which is a very significant improvement. The SWAT barrel is a only minor penalty down to 10 meters, and that'll give you faster ADS, but you can also carry less shotgun shells in your tube. And the 30-inch Sport barrel actually has the same range as the Liberator, but you carry more ammo in your tube, so you move a little bit slower as well. Among them, I would go with the Liberator, and I'll explain why in a little bit after we hit the aim down sights section. You may be curious about the maximum one-shot ranges. Well, if I put the Sport and the Marauder barrel muzzle attachment, which we'll talk on there in a little bit, it's 15 meters, and if you add stopping power to it, you can actually get it up to 21 meters of one-shot kill range, which is very impressive, and you get 8 rounds of stopping power if you load it into this weapon. So stopping power is not at all a bad thing to run on this shotgun, but I'm kind of addicted to dead silence. I like to run around really fast, and I kind of like to chain those kills together. So overall, the one-shot range is actually kind of good, and also actually kind of consistent, but only when aiming down sights. When you start hip firing this weapon, you'll find that its performance is much poorer than that of the R90 or even the Model 725. So this truly is an aim down sights only shotgun if you want to use it well. It has 2 unique underbarrel grips that will decrease your aim down sights time, which are quite nice, and we'll be showing them off very shortly. And it has this really cool Marauder muzzle. It's one of the last attachments you'll get, but it increases your range, tightens your pellet spread, and is a built-in suppressor. It's basically the best thing that you can put on this shotgun. Though to be clear, it doesn't increase range very much at all. It's about 1 meter, and it doesn't tighten pellet spread very much, and suppressors don't work that well in this game, but you still do get all 3 of these bonuses in one attachment, which is quite nice. Like the other shotguns, slugs are sadly still very random and not properly aligned to the sights. I don't recommend them because your bullets won't actually go where you're aiming. Outside of that, it has fantastic one-shot range and not that bad a drop, and I think it could be quite nice, but when I shoot my gun and the bullets come out sideways, that's never going to work for me. And as always, aiming down sights will tighten your pellet spread. I think that's really the big secret with this one. You get a much tighter spread, so aiming down sights is good. But let's talk about the aim down sights time, because this is where the weapon becomes difficult and interesting at the same time. The base aim down sights time for this shotgun is 333 milliseconds, which is just, it's slow. Let's be honest, that's quite slow. When you put the Liberator barrel on there, that goes up to 366 milliseconds, which is kind of taking us into LMG territory here. The SWAT barrel is a little bit faster at 283. The 30-inch Sport is way slower at 400 milliseconds. That's like sniper rifle time almost. And the TAC laser will just shave off time like nothing else and take you down to 250. But we're not done with attachments yet. If you put on the F-TAC stock, which is the one that lets you aim down sights faster, I think it's the first one you unlock, it'll take you down to 266, which is a massive improvement over base. The no stock attachment will drop you down to 250, which is even better, but it does come with increased recoil, but also increased move speed. So it's kind of hard to beat. The Merc foregrip will decrease it a little bit down to 300, and the last grip that you get, it's the XRK True Grip, will decrease it down to 250, which is almost as good as having a TAC laser. So there's a lot of attachments for this weapon that can significantly speed up your aim down sights ADS time. And the Model 680 sprint out times are also kind of slow. Base is 266, which is quite slow for a shotgun. If you put the 1 milliwatt laser on there, it's 233, and the 5 milliwatt is actually really snappy at 183. Between the two, I've actually been going with the 1 milliwatt a little bit more because players have kind of gotten smart and they hunt people with green lasers, especially after they get killed by it a few times, so I kind of quit using it because I was giving myself away. So overall, the Model 680 shotgun rewards planning, patience, and accuracy. This shotgun has a very good one-shot range, it has a very good consistent damage, it has a very tight pellet spread, it's got a lot of things going on with it, but you can't really make use of it unless you're aiming down sights and you're gonna hit your shots. So it can be really devastating in the right hands. As you've seen from the gameplay here, which I think is quite good for a weapon that's unpopular, this gun can pop people at long ranges. You can just keep on popping and popping and popping because you got a lot of bullets in your chamber. It can hip fire pretty well. You can do a lot of nice stuff with it. But the problem is it's just harder to use than all of the other shotguns. All of the other shotguns in this game are easier to use. The R9O has a similar, not one shot, but 2-shot kill range, and you just spam twice hip fire, it'll be fine. The Model 725 has better damage and range, and you can hip fire it almost as well as you can aim down sights. Now you 2-tap that and you're out of ammo and you have to reload, so you have downtime. But if you're using it as a single enemy pick weapon, it works just as well. Origin 12, well, it's a niche spam weapon, but it's very, very easy to spam. This one's difficult. This one has slow base handling. This one doesn't have the fastest aim down sights time. This one you need to aim down sights, you need to hit your shots, you need to do all this stuff. So a lot of people don't want to do that when they can just run around spamming people with the R9O or 725. So when you do use this weapon, going for Damascus or whatever, if you want to try it out, because I've got a really good recommended class for you, just try to think ahead and aim down sights for most of your kills. As long as your ADS and your shots are on point, you're going to be surprised at how well you can pop people and how far away you can get these one-shot kills. My best class for this weapon is to use the 18-inch Liberator barrel. It gives you the most extra range for the least ADS penalty. I put the Marauder muzzle on there, which gives me more range, tighter pellet spread, and a suppressor, though it does hurt my ADS time. I will put on the 1 milliwatt laser, which is not as good as the 5 milliwatt, but it doesn't reveal me. The XRK True Grip, which significantly speeds up my ADS time, and the no stock attachment, which will also significantly speed up my ADS time while also increasing my movement speed. And this will get me back slightly faster than base ADS time, but with more range, and the only downside is that my gun kicks really hard up when I shoot, but by the time I'm done cocking and pumping and getting it ready for the second shot, it doesn't really matter that much, and it allows me to position well. But with a class like this, it's definitely best to aim down sights. You'll see in the majority of my gameplay here, I'm playing very smart and very pick heavy, and not so much just kind of balls out, hipfire spam people. That won't work, but if you run this class and go for ADS shots, you will be very, very lethal. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this shorter in-depth. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.